Okay, so I'm on the way to pick up my wife's car to kind of switch with her. So if you hear dings or sounds from the Tesla, just ignore them. So my name is Tron. A lot of you probably know me from either uh, Ondas or NIO or Ouster or Palantir. However you found me, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you guys follow me, and then I'm actually able to get a lot from you too. Because the thing is, I don't actually get to comment on everything because I'm running around constantly, but I am reading a lot, and so I'm reading good ideas, good posts from everyone. So I wanted to just quickly talk about where we're at with NIO numbers. Why is the stock not moving today? There's a few reasons. It's just moving. We're kind of sitting still, and I'm calling it consolidating. So basically, right now it's consolidating. It's had this massive run. If you go back and look at the month, I'm doing this all from memory, but I think it's up like, I don't know, $1.25 in the last 30 days a share. And that sounds amazing, right? That sounds awesome. For most stocks in this price range, $1.25 in a month is fantastic. But I also know that some people are getting in right now. They're getting in last week, or they're new to the stock and they're still nervous about the growth. They're still nervous about it going up. Where is it going to be? And I can't really promise you, obviously, that it's going to go up. I think it is. I have price targets, and in my head, I think we're going to hit $10 to $15 by the end of the year. And I know that sounds like a tall order, but our numbers are growing. We are rapidly increasing our pre-orders. Our business of, and I'm saying I'm not part of this, but I'm invested in it. So our battery swap stations are increasing in numbers. People are getting more educated on the brand. The competitive landscape in China is still very competitive. But what we're starting to see is some of the other brands in China are starting to slow down in sales. And what does that mean? Well, that means right now that China has an oversaturation of EVs. And that's just the truth. It's not easy just to say that, we're going to be the best ever and we're just going to be better than everyone else. And that's a tall order, because there's companies that are doing things better than other companies all over the place. So when I pick a company, I really want there to be some kind of competitive angle. What is that magic secret sauce that we can use to make this just blow up? And so with things like Palantir, now it seems obvious, right? Now Palantir is a household name, and I don't talk about it much because it doesn't need a champion. It's already there. But when I was there and it went from $28 my first time to buy in down to $10, that was horrible. That was horrible. And I would say Palantir, and nobody would even know what it is. So now you got to consider, okay, so we didn't know what it was back then. Now we do. Now we have an idea of where we're going with NIO. So we're going towards profitability. I mean, with all the metrics I'm seeing, we're cutting down cost, we're reducing staff. Those things sound horrible. They're not. Factory 3 is still, it's not fully operational. It's kind of like partly operational. So there's been a lot of misinformation out there saying that Factory 3 is up and going. It's rolling. They are producing vehicles. It's not fully operational. We're still trying to get it up and going. So we've got this factory. It's not even complete. We've got back orders of 50,000 plus vehicles for one version. And these are locked in orders, not ones that can just be canceled easily. They're non-refundable. What does this tell you about NIO? It tells you they're in a growth phase. They're in a bull cycle. And I was there during the early days of Tesla. I was there when they hit 10,000 units in a month. And everybody was like, our mind was blown. I was there. I was the first one actually in my state to have a Tesla Model 3. I used to have like high schoolers coming up and taking pictures of it, and they thought it was so cool. And now it's just the norm, right? Now it doesn't matter. Now they're selling a lot of vehicles. I don't even keep track anymore. A lot. And those numbers don't matter anymore. But if you're in a growth cycle like NIO is, those numbers matter now. Every single unit that's sold, whether it be in China or Europe, matters now. And yes, my thesis has a large part to do with I'm hoping that it gets to the US. But if it doesn't get to the US, it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, it's like a pop-off moment. Like, it's like the bullish, like it's like branding the bull. The bull's gonna run like hell if they're able to actually make that happen. But it doesn't matter that much because we already ran without it. And yes, those were different times, but now we're expanding in Europe. We're expanding all these places that didn't know about battery swap. Battery swap didn't exist. So we've got a race here. We are in a competitive landscape. China's making amazing vehicles. Tesla's still making amazing vehicles. So what is the competitive edge? The competitive edge is battery swap and software. And right now, NIO is basically kicking ass in that area. Now, it's not fair to compare them to Tesla because Tesla has a time advantage. But I will tell you this, NIO is moving faster than Tesla. They're automating manufacturing at a higher rate. They're moving faster. They're creating their battery swap stations at a record pace. They're creating partnerships. They're working on nuclear. They're working on robotics. They're working on all these things that matter. And yeah, it sounds like I probably post a bit too much about NIO. But when you put a large portion of your portfolio into it, that's just what happens. It's what happened with Ondas. It's what's happening with NIO. And now, if you're on this train with me, and I'm super happy that you are, if you're on this train, then now we just have to wait. We just basically have to be patient because it's coming. I have not sold any options. I've not sold any shares. We're basically in a waiting game. And I'm pretty sure that if you guys wait with me, we're going to see amazing things. Obviously, I can't give financial advice and all that whole disclaimer that everybody gives, but the truth is, nobody knows. So if you want to hang out with me, just know that we're both, theorizing together. So that's all I got for today. Thanks, guys.